On March 15, the ministry took delivery of models of the T-80 ready for service in the coldest regions of the country in the far north. With the beginning of the opening up the Arctic, the Russian army has faced the need to defend the country's frontiers from a new direction. Instead of investing billions to produce new equipment and drain the state budget with extra spending, the country's leadership decided to invest in the modernization of existing dormant equipment. Tank troops form the basis of the Russian army. The country currently has around 18,200 tanks of different types. What has been modernized? Designers have managed to deal with the key shortcoming of the T-80 tank, its voracious appetite for fuel. Over the most demanding terrain, it could consume as much as 2-4 times more fuel than the diesel-powered T-72. Now fuel consumption has been reduced to the level of the T-72 thanks to the simultaneous startup of the engine and the generator. In simple terms, the designers have altered the engine to function in idling mode. The jet-powered engine that was fitted to the T-80 models of the late 1970s operated at full throttle both at top speed and when standing still. The tank's gun has been given modern thermal imaging and laser systems that increase its combat effectiveness at any time of day or night. The machine's armor has also been covered with dynamic protection layers, and the crew compartment has been adapted to temperatures down to -40 centigrade, -43.6 Fahrenheit. The 125mm gun itself is unchanged, as are the large caliber machine guns fitted to the turret. What the T-80 was like originally. The T-80 was launched in the mid-1970s and was the first tank in the world to be fitted with a gas turbine engine instead of a standard diesel unit, an engine similar to those used in aircraft. Because of it, the sound of a T-80 racing around a military test ground is like the roar of a fighter plane accelerating on a runway. The armored giant with its gas turbine engine had many advantages over its contemporary cousins. In contrast to diesel, it was ready for operation 3 minutes after startup and not 30 minutes as in the case of the T-72. The T-80 has a range of 270 miles on a single fueling. Furthermore, the new engine gave the 40-ton tank advantages of speed and maneuverability. At the time, the T-80 was the first domestically produced tank that could hurtle along rugged terrain at speeds above 40 miles per hour. Today only the new Armata can boast a similar capability. What purposes the T-80 was to serve? During the Cold War and arms race, a high-speed tank of this kind was regarded as a first-strike weapon. All four 000 T-80s were deployed on the Soviet Union's western borders in East Germany and Eastern Europe. In the event of war, they were to cross Europe and reach the English Channel in the course of a few days. And since the voracious steel giants could be fed on any type of fuel, it was planned to deal with fuel shortages as they went along, by resupplying them from European petrol stations, industrial plants and military units. But with the start of perestroika and the collapse of the USSR in 1991, the need for such a high-speed army and plans for hypothetical combat operations in Europe simply disappeared. As a result, the majority of the T-80s ended up parked in storage sheds gently rusting. Until recently, that is.